fast approaching, and students will soon be making important decisions that will have a major influence on the rest of their lives. The history of higher education dates back nearly 400 years to the founding of Harvard in 1636. Early acceptance practices promote a healthy competition among universities and students. However, early admissions policies only tend to favor wealthy students. Even though sophomores still have 2 more years of high school, time is flying by, and they should start thinking out their future college plans. Over time and throughout history, the college admissions process has changed dramatically several times. The college admission process was much different and simpler than it is today. Since the number of students was relatively small, schools usually accepted every applicant that applied. Today, admissions programs are much more complex. There are 2 programs that students usually follow. The early admissions process allows a student to apply to a school by a certain advance deadline, which is usually the beginning of November. In return, students must sign a binding contract, which states that if they are accepted, they cannot apply to any other schools. The first early decision programs were introduced in the 1950s and later expanded in the 1980s. Regular admissions is a process where student applications are all considered together after a certain deadline, which is usually the end of December or the beginning of January. Students may apply to more than one school in this process. Early acceptance programs are part of a free market competition. Early decision programs grew in popularity in the 1990s as college admissions became more complex and competitive. The colleges engage in competition to attract the best and most qualified students. James Fallows, the author of The Early Decision Racket, shows how someone feels about this topic in his 2001 article in the Literary Reference Center. Bruce Potch, the admissions director at Pomona College in California, is generally a critic of an overemphasis on early plans, but he agrees that they can help morale. It's worth something to the institution to enroll kids who view the college as their first choice, he says. Early decision programs tend to create unfair advantages for wealthy students. The students who use this program are certain about where they want to go to college. The Early Decision Racket, published in the Literary Reference Center by the author James Fallows in 2001, highlights another person's thoughts on the program. The whole early decision thing is preposterous, transparent and demeaning to the profession that it is bound to go bust. Says Tom Parker of Amherst, I can't think of one secondary school counselor who sees the benefit of the program. There are several drawbacks of the early admissions process. Critics say that the early plans have pitfalls by only benefiting certain students. The regular system allows students to compare offers from a variety of schools, but with the early decision process, a student has to take whatever aid they are offered. Since students using the early admissions program apply in the middle of the first semester, their academic performance of that year does not count. We don't think students should be rushing into choosing a college, says Timothy Brunold, USC's Dean of Admissions. The senior year of high school is a time of incredible exploration and maturing of students. How can they be truly well served by deciding in November and December? This was mentioned by the author Carla Rivera in her February 18th, 2015 article of Applying to Colleges in the Los Angeles Times found in the e-library. There are also several benefits of the early admissions process. It sometimes relieves a student's stress level as they will have already made their decision and won't have to worry about it the rest of the year. I was ahead of all my friends in doing my portfolio, says Unique De La Torre, and now it's a huge relief. If I hadn't taken advantage of the early decision program, I'd still be stressed out like everyone else. This was found in the journalist Carla Rivera's February 18, 2015 publication of Applying to Colleges in the Los Angeles Times, located in the e-library. Getting ready for college can feel intimidating, and many people probably have several questions about the process. More than 640 colleges nationwide offer early options as well as a chance to apply during the regular period. Early decision programs have added a vital competition within colleges throughout the country. The program distorts the admissions process, rewarding only the wealthiest students and penalizing nearly everyone else. In the future, when students start to think about college, they should have a plan that will make the process much easier.